This is CBC Here and Now.
Yeah, it's disappointing, obviously. Just before that rock made contact, I thought we had it made, and it just came up too much.
What a heartbreaker. Team Gushue loses its shot at gold, but still has a chance at winning an Olympic medal. The Health Accord releases its final report with dozens of recommendations, including merging ambulance services across the province. That's just ahead. Welcome to Here and Now. I'm Carolyn Stokes. We start with a devastating blow for Team Gushue.
It is red.
One red, and that is it. What a game. What a game.
Canada's men's curling team will not be competing for a gold medal. Team Gushue lost to Sweden 5-3 in a semi-final match earlier today. It came down to Gushue's last rock, missing the win by just inches. The loss was a blow for Gushue, who won Olympic gold in 2006, but the team's Olympic journey is not over. Gushue is now preparing for the bronze medal game tomorrow afternoon against the U.S.
Yeah, it's disappointing, obviously. Just before that rock made contact, I thought we had it made, and it just came up too much. And my first one gave Nick a chance. Nick made a great hit and roll, and I thought we had that game. I really thought we battled hard, and we were going to get it in the last end, and it just didn't work out.
I could tell the moment you put that broom on your head that you were gutted when you realized it hadn't rolled far enough.
Yeah.
You still have a bronze medal to play for.
Yeah, obviously try and regroup. I think we're going to need an hour or so to get over this one, but certainly the bronze medal is important to us. We're going to be gunning just as hard tomorrow as we were today. But yeah, we need a moment.
I can just see the emotion on his face. So now Britain and Sweden will compete for that gold medal. Meanwhile, it was Brad Gushue Day at O'Donnell High School in Mount Pearl today. It's the school Gushue graduated from himself, and this morning students there gathered around TVs to watch his team play Sweden at the Olympics. Here and Now's Mark Quinn was there.
Go Canada, go!
Pride and excitement, nervousness, I guess what we're all feeling here today as well.
Well, it's really important. I mean, I'm not going to dispute the fact that it's been difficult for staff and students with all the virtual online learning.
We're watching the semi-final game here with Brad Gushue against Sweden, and having lots of school spirit, which has been building since the Olympics started, and especially since curling started. Well, Brad Gushue is a Patriot alumni. He graduated in 1998, I think, and his nephews go here, and his own children will go here. So we feel a sense of pride, for sure, in Team Gushue.
We moved here in 2016, and we started curling as soon as we moved here because of him. Kind of inspired us.
And has he been helpful for you guys curling?
Yeah, he gives us lots of tips, and he shows us like how to make some shots, how to slide. He's really helpful for sure.
And he went to high school here as well, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he went to high school here, and my mom actually, so it's kind of just in the family.
Some of our students in the building today weren't even born when Brad won gold last. So I think it's really cool.
In 2006, I was in the gym with the entire student body and all the teachers, and we spent the whole week, I think, that time preparing for the big event. And it was an amazing, exciting event that everybody took part in. And we watched him win his medal. And then shortly after, he came to our school, and we all got a chance, all the students had a chance to, touch his medal and wear it. And he passed it around, and he signed our flag up there.
It is amazing. It's just like the best environment in this school today.
And it's been a weird couple of years, of course, with the pandemic. So what does it mean to have something maybe that's a distraction from all of that?
I mean, everyone is just so happy and excited, and just seeing the blow up thingies moving their arms around, I think added to excitement.
If you're going to dream, dream big, and anything is possible. So I think that's the message for all of our students here.
Well, it really shows that Patriots can do whatever they want. If they can dream it, they can do it. And that's showing through Brad Gushue.
We're still cheering and we're thanking him for all the memories that he's provided our building and our students.
Well, it's definitely been a wild week of weather here in the metro area. Sunday, green grass, then a dump of snow, and now we're seeing those mild temperatures and very windy conditions. So take a look at what's happening out there across the province. Sagona Island recorded a wind gust today so far of 104 kilometers per hour, Bonavista 78, and St. John's 96 kilometers per hour. Now those temperatures climbed dramatically, sat around 4 degrees for a good chunk of the afternoon, and around 2 o'clock is when we saw that wind gust upwards of 96 kilometers per hour. Now the winds are going to continue and even strengthen as we head through the day tomorrow. As our next system moves in, I'll have the full forecast coming up.
Thanks, Ashley. Well, the RNC says a recent firearm seizure produced a first of its kind. Charges laid on a Torbay man who was using a 3D printer to manufacture gun parts. This afternoon, the RNC showed off more than 85 firearms it had seized following 2 search warrants carried out last week. Among the confiscated items were silencers, a bulletproof vest, and 3D printed brass knuckles. While owning a 3D printer isn't illegal, making parts for firearms is something commonly known as ghost guns. Police say the arrest is the first of its kind in the province and that a 40-year-old Torbay man is facing more than 140 firearm-related offenses.
This is organized crime. Our province is not immune to organized crime. We have put this street crime unit in place to be proactive about organized crime and to combat organized crime. So just that in itself, I think, is a very clear statement that we are concerned about the level of organized crime in this province and that we are implementing solutions to combat it in a very proactive manner.
Well, the Mass Casualty Commission in Nova Scotia is gearing up for public hearings next week after the deadly shootings there 2 years ago. Advocacy groups are pushing for school-aged children as young as 5 to learn about safe and healthy relationships. St. John's lawyer Aaron Breen is representing 3 women's groups at the inquiry examining the mass shooting, 2 from Nova Scotia and 1 from Toronto, on the issue of gender-based and intimate partner violence. A lone gunman killed 22 people during a shooting spree throughout rural Nova Scotia in April of 2020. It followed a violent attack on his common-law wife. Breen says children need to learn young what a healthy relationship is and is not.
I think you can start to teach children about basic human rights. And the fact that there are power imbalances in our society which have been reinforced actually by our institutions.
A woman in her 70s is the latest person in the province to die from COVID-19. She lived in the western region and her death marks the 61st since the start of the pandemic. The latest COVID numbers indicate there are still 16 people in hospital, with 5 of them in critical care. Meanwhile, Premier Andrew Furey has announced he's in isolation after a close contact tested positive for the virus. Furey says on social media he will be working from home for the next few days. Well, Health Accord NL submitted its final report to the provincial government today. The report makes 57 recommendations. For example, it recommends reorganizing services at health centers and reducing the availability of emergency care based on population and geography. The Health Accord also calls on the province to develop one air and road ambulance service with a central medical dispatch. It also says families should have some form of livable and predictable basic income, combined with programs for food and housing security. Joining me now are the co-chairs of the Health Accord, Sister Elizabeth Davis and Dr. Pat Parfrey. So there is a lot to digest in this 250-page report. One thing everyone will wonder about is cuts. Does this report recommend cutting any services, closing any hospitals? One of the recommendations is to reorganize health services to reflect the population size. So would that involve cutting services in some areas?
No, we are not recommending taking any services out of any areas. What we're recommending is that we need to plan for the realities that we're faced with. They concern sustainability, the capacity to get providers to work in particular places, and the quantity of people getting a particular service in a specialty. So that planning is going to require discussion with the community, with the Regional Health Authority, and with the programs involved.
Can you tell us more about that recommendation to design one provincial integrated air and road ambulance system?
First of all, the basic premise is that we need an integrated ambulance system to ensure that no matter where you live in Newfoundland and Labrador, you can get as quickly as possible to a hospital which has the ability to diagnose your emergency. That system requires staffing that's more professional than we have today. In addition, we do have some good professionals working in the system, but we need more of them, particularly paramedics. We also have to have a system that works together. Right now, we have many providers and they don't work with each other. So how that works out, we don't know yet.
And I also mentioned the recommendation to provide basic income for people, a stable and predictable income. Can you elaborate on how you see that working?
The underlying premise here is that our health in this province is not as good as the health of people in other provinces. And within our province, we have terrible inequity among us. The factors that most influence our health are social, economic, and environmental conditions. And of those, the one that has the highest correlation with health that's not good is poverty. So over the years, we've tried to address that in all kinds of piecemeal ways. We believe that in the longer term, the best way to address poverty, the best way to move people out of poverty, and the best people to move away from the indignity that comes from being poor is through a basic livable income for families and for individuals.
And Dr. Parfrey, what happens next with this report in terms of implementation? You mentioned that another report is coming. So often we see reports being shelved by governments and not seeing action on recommendations. What's next with this?
So I think the first thing is that this accord is extremely innovative in that we've got 126 people on our task force, and they have agreed on the content of this particular report, which is very wide-ranging and goes deeper than we had originally anticipated. But we also believe that the specifics of what would happen required a separate report. And in that separate report, which we're calling a blueprint, it would be how to implement the accord, which would gives a bit more a bigger tactical approach to the major objectives that we've outlined in the report. That will come out in the blueprint, which we're expecting by the end of which we expect to publish at the end of March.
All right, Dr. Pat Parfrey and Sister Elizabeth Davis, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Rachel Haynes is 14 years old and she's fighting cancer. That's not all she's focused on right now. With the help of a ton of local businesses and community support, the Candlelighters Association and a local designer are giving Rachel her dream bedroom makeover.
Press play.
Why?
Just do it.
Hi Rachel, I'm Krista Wells from Georgetown on My Mind. I'm joining forces with the Candlelighters Association to give one lucky recipient the bedroom makeover of their dreams. And you won.
My face in the video describes it all. It's just like, oh my God. I didn't think I would win anything like this because I don't normally win stuff like this, so it always comes as a big shock.
Well, we had a number of families nominate their child, but we landed on Rachel. She is a teenager, and just looking at her story of what she's gone through recently.
Currently, I am diagnosed with T-cell ALL leukemia. I've been through a year and 2 months of chemo treatment, and at the moment, I'm in my last round, which is called maintenance. Back in September, I got put in the the ICU, and I had to learn how to walk again. For me, I've never really had a negative point of view on this treatment. My mindset from the beginning is like, oh yeah, it's gonna get better. Like, look, there's the light at the end of the tunnel. And yeah.
In early January, Rachel and her mom and I met over Zoom, and we talked a little bit about her style and some of her favorite colors and things that she liked in her room and things that she didn't like in her room. And we came up with the term vintage charm teen bedroom. So that's kind of what we're going for.
The process has been really fun, and it's all like right from the pictures that I had in my mind.
Okay, so more plastering. More plastering. Lots more plastering.
She has impeccable style for a 14-year-old teenager.
I get to go down once a day to take a sneak peek at what my room looks like. It's super exciting.
Plan is for the reveal to be February 25th.
We just really hope that, after everything she's been through and continues to go through, that it's a place for her to, relax, chill out with her friends, and to look backwards at what she's been through, but to also give her space and time to look ahead at what's to come.
This weather update is brought to you by the NL 511 app. Know before you go. Check road conditions, highway cameras, and the provincial plow tracker with the NL 511 app.
Well, we definitely saw a windy day today out there across the province. That is ahead of our next weather maker. Let's take a look at what's going on right now. We've got that colder air to the north and then some of that milder air starting to move in along with that cold front. Now, if you zoom out a little bit, actually quite a bit, you can see the bigger picture is that area of low pressure getting organized and moving across Ontario. That is what will be bringing the rain and wind to a good chunk of the island. Here's taking a look at the watches and warnings right now. Most of the island under a rainfall warning. We've got that snowfall and or winter storm warning for the northern peninsula as well as southeastern Labrador, and then Cartwright is currently under a blowing snow advisory as well as a weather warning for Green Bay, White Bay. Now that just means that you're going to see snow, freezing rain, and rain all within this same time frame. Also, number of wind warnings, no surprise out there right now, even for the Avalon, up to Bonavista North, Bay of Exploits, and then down all along the southern areas of the island. Tonight, not a whole lot going on up across Labrador. It's just going to be another cool night for you under clear skies for the most part, minus 17 to minus 24. Most of the island will be above zero or continue to stay above zero, and then even warmer air as we head through the day tomorrow. Up across Labrador, you're going to see some snow as well, particularly for the southeast, but Nain, you should hover around minus 18 tomorrow with a mix of sun and cloud. Now, taking a look at the future tracker to time out what's going to happen. So we are already seeing some showers. The showers are going to get heavier as we head through the evening hours and overnight hours tonight for the west coast, and we're going to start to see that snow develop for the northern peninsula as well. And then same thing for Green Bay, White Bay. Now, as we head through the day tomorrow, at least the first half of tomorrow, that's when we're going to start to see some of that heavier rain move in. And then also the risk of some freezing rain where we're seeing the freezing rain rather for Green Bay, White Bay. So I'll just showed you that yesterday, and I'll just show you that one more time. That's why you're under that winter, or rather the weather warning. Now that is going to meander. Anything south of that should fall as rain, and you can see they're pretty heavy at times right across the island, and that heavy rain will move as well as some pretty windy conditions between 100 to even 120 kilometers per hour. Certainly not out of the question out of the south as we head through the day tomorrow. And then eventually as we get into overnight, early morning hours on Saturday, that should end, and eventually those winds will ease right along with it. So this is what the forecast is rainfall wise. About 30 to 50 millimeters is a good bet for most of the island. Now, higher elevations is where you could see the potential to exceed between 70 to 100 millimeters of rain, particularly in the west and the south. And then we start talking about that snowfall. So snowfall between 25 to 45 centimeters for the northern peninsula, southeastern Labrador, and then it significantly drops off as you head towards Cartwright. Now, as far as Saturday goes, in behind that system, temperatures drop quite dramatically down to the minus single digits, minus double digits up across Labrador as well. You may see a few lingering flurries, and then we're back up flirting with the 0 degree mark for St. John's on Monday. And then as we get into central and western Newfoundland, you're looking at your temperatures dipping by Tuesday back down to the minus double digits. And then for eastern Labrador, minus 15 for your daytime high on Tuesday, minus 19 for western Labrador. Quick look at the weather photo tonight, evening winter walk in St. John's. Thank you to Kathleen for that. Any weather photos, send them to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
Welcome back. Well, normally we announce birthdays and anniversaries on Fridays, but we have an extra special one to show you tonight. Today is Nora Normore's 102nd birthday. Grade 4 students at St. Bernard's School in Witless Bay, along with their music teacher, Cheryl Thorne, put together this gift for her, and it's pretty darn cute. Just have a look.
We'll dance and sing in Witless Bay to celebrate St. Nora, sing away. She's 102 today. We'll dance and sing in Witless Bay because she's 1 year older, sing away. Me jolly bye, she's 102 today. She's the star of the Christmas pageant when she sings the Desperate sing away. She's 102 today. She takes the mic with all her might and sings each word in Latin, sing away. Me jolly bye, she's 102 today. The year in 1920, she was born in St. Vincent, sing away. She's 102 today. She's 103, so paper was she, and did some fine thick slippers, sing away. Me jolly bye, she's 102 today. Sing away. Me jolly bye, she's 102 today. Happy 102nd birthday, Nora!
Hot stuff. Great job with that song and that video, and love that photo of Nora. Nora, I hope you're having a wonderful birthday. Well, that's it for us tonight. Thank you so much for spending part of your evening with us. Hope you can join us again tomorrow on what will be a wet and very windy day on the island as we head into the weekend. Thanks so much for being here. Good night.